Hey everybody, I hope you're doing great. It's Mike Power here from the DJ Disclosure, and in this video I want to talk about how you can make people dance as a DJ, and it's probably not as easy as what people think, and it's perhaps one of the harder things. And to be honest, it's really all about developing your own formula, and I just wanted to share something that's helped me over the years in really keeping people there and engaged in your set to peak time where you can really drop some of your best tracks. So I just want to go through a 3-stage process with you that could help you if you are struggling in this area. So the first thing that I want to talk about is building trust through your music in order to really get the crowd, I guess you could say, more so taking a warming up to you. Learn to become patient with your music and playing the right music at the right time, but also playing music that has the right tempo, rhythm and groove is really essential at the beginning of your set and probably up halfway through to the middle of your set, because it's all about getting them in the right mood and keeping them engaged on the dance floor. And if you're not going to get them hooked in early and you're going to go too hard too early, then you're going to really disengage them and they're not going to really take much of a liking to you. So it's really all about building that trust. And what I've learned is if you have the volume at a little bit of a lower level and also bring that up when you're playing sort of slower, softer, catchier music, perhaps using more rhythmic, familiar music that doesn't have a bigger breakdown or vocal, because sort of vocal tracks and tracks with a bit of pause in them or breakdown tend to sort of slow down the crowd's momentum, and you want to keep that momentum going for the first half an hour at least. And the next point I guess you could sort of say is to really know the music that gets them going. So as I said, the right tempo, rhythm and groove really determines their mood, and it's really all about creating hype, building anticipation and teasing the crowd, and really controlling the energy of your set before you get too carried away, dropping those big chart hits or those songs that are really, I guess you could say, you've been dying to really play and get out. It can be a game of patience, and that's what I've learned is it's the hardest part that really involves the skill, and that's just not dropping all these big tracks that you want to drop, and teasing them and building them up for the occasion is really what's involved when it comes to DJing. So the third stage is really having them in the zone, and once you've built up midway through your set, it's really time to take the risks. If they're on the dance floor and you've really, I guess you could say, they're engaged in your set, it's really time to expand your stretch zone and take the risk and play the songs that people haven't heard, but perhaps you could do it a bit systematically. Like I used to take a few risks, but they're more calculated in the fact that I'd play 2 songs that I knew had potential to work in a row, or I'd play 2 crowd pleasers, something I know that would really get them going, and then I'd drop something completely different that would that they haven't heard of before, that's not the usual thing, in order to test a new track and see if they'd like it or not. But I guess you could say the theory behind it is that once they're in the peak of the moment and then you drop in something, that they're going to be more inclined to dance to something that they haven't heard of, because that momentum and that energy is up right at the peak time. So that's what I'm really getting at. The other one is to, I guess you could say, make the most of the momentum when you're DJing, and really push yourself to expand as a DJ. Once you've built up their trust by building up the energy, creating anticipation and hype, and using songs that are not going to have too much of a buzzkill where there's too much downtime and too much of a breakdown. Those tracks are really for the peak time of your set, where you've got them in that element, and therefore it's time to really let loose. So You know, it's just about creativity and pushing those boundaries when you're in that peak time as well. So, you know, don't forget that. But that's just my theory on what I've learned over 9 years of DJing. So look, I hope you've got a lot of value out of this video, and I look forward to seeing you in another one. Cheers.